Charlie Chaplin was one of the most legendary figures in the history of world cinema. His name became known almost everywhere thanks to his iconic character, the Tramp, a little wanderer with a bowler hat, cane, oversized shoes, and a small signature mustache. Although he often made people laugh, Chaplin's life was actually filled with struggles from an early age. Chaplin was born in London, England, in 1889 to a poor family of stage performers. His father was a singer and actor, while his mother performed in music halls. However, family life was difficult. His father died when Chaplin was still young, and his mother suffered from mental illness. Because of severe poverty, Chaplin and his brother even spent time in workhouses and shelters for poor children. Those harsh childhood experiences helped him understand the lives of ordinary people and later became an important influence in many of his films. From a young age, Chaplin was already familiar with the entertainment world. He began working as a dancer and child stage actor before eventually joining the famous comedy troupe led by Fred Carnot. There, his talent started gaining attention, giving him the opportunity to travel to the United States. At the time, the American film industry was growing rapidly, especially silent films that relied on visual acting instead of spoken dialogue. In 1914, Chaplin began appearing in films and created the character the Tramp. The character was simple, a poor man who always tried to look polite and dignified despite his difficult life. Yet that simplicity was exactly what made audiences love him. Chaplin could make people laugh and feel emotional, at the same time using only facial expressions and body movements, without many words. Within a short time, Chaplin became the biggest star of the silent film era. Movies such as The Kid, City Lights, and Modern Times made him internationally famous. Behind the comedy, Chaplin often included social criticism about poverty, injustice, and the struggles of ordinary workers. Many people saw his films as entertaining, but they also carried deep humanitarian messages. One thing that made Chaplin so extraordinary was his ability to control the audience's emotions. In a single scene, viewers could laugh and then suddenly feel sadness moments later. That style was very rare during his era. Even today, many filmmakers and comedians are still inspired by the way Chaplin told stories. Besides the true history of his life, many legends also surrounded Chaplin. One of the most famous stories claims that Chaplin once entered a Charlie Chaplin lookalike contest and actually lost. According to the story, his identity was hidden, and the judges believed other contestants looked more like Chaplin than he did himself. The tale became very popular and is often repeated as a humorous Hollywood legend, although historians still debate whether it truly happened. Another legend describes Chaplin as a symbol of the struggle of ordinary people around the world. The Tramp represented poor individuals trying to survive with dignity and hope. That is why Chaplin's films were loved in many different countries, even by audiences who did not understand English. During the period of World War II and rising global tensions, Chaplin also became controversial. His film, The Great Dictator, openly mocked Adolf Hitler and the Nazi regime. The movie was considered extremely brave for its time because many people were still afraid to criticize Hitler directly. In the film, Chaplin combined comedy with a powerful message about humanity and peace, including a speech that remains memorable even today. Despite his fame, Chaplin also faced difficult times later in life. He was accused of holding certain political beliefs and experienced pressure in the United States during the 1950s. Eventually, he moved to Switzerland, where he spent the rest of his life with his family. Charlie Chaplin passed away in 1977, but his legacy continues to live on. More than a century after his rise to fame, people around the world still recognize his famous hat, cane, and mustache. That is why Charlie Chaplin was far more than just a comedian. He became a symbol of perseverance, creativity, and humanity, transforming comedy films into an art form capable of making the world laugh while also making people think,